For 30 years, Johnny Carson invited America into his late-night living room. As host of The Tonight Show, he interviewed over 22,000 guests, from fresh talent to Hollywood legends. But behind the scenes, Carson kept a personal list. These were the rare few who didn't just perform. They connected with the man behind the desk. Johnny was the ultimate pro, said a longtime producer, but some guests made him forget the cameras were rolling. With them, Johnny wasn't hosting. He was simply enjoying himself. And no guest earned that reaction more than the one at the top of his list, thanks to a heartfelt poem, a dog named Bo, and a moment that moved America. Jimmy Stewart, the guest who made Carson cry. When Jimmy Stewart appeared on The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson showed rare emotion, deeply admiring Stewart's genuine kindness and authenticity. Stewart was himself, unpolished and sincere, which Carson respected greatly. In 1981, Stewart's heartfelt poem about his late dog moved Carson to tears on live TV, creating a powerful, quiet moment. Stewart's appearances brought out Carson's ease. He often extended Stewart's segments, valuing their genuine connection. Stewart remained one of Carson's closest, most respected friends in showbiz. Bob Newhart. The comic Carson couldn't resist. If Stewart touched Carson's heart, Bob Newhart matched his mind. With razor-sharp timing and bone-dry wit, Newhart was one of Johnny's favorite comedians. "Bob was the most effortlessly funny man I know," Carson once said. And unlike others, Newhart didn't rely on prepped material. He talked with perfect rhythm, and Carson thrived in that space. "It was like jazz," said one director. Bob would tell a story, Johnny would jump in, and Bob would riff off it seamlessly. Their timing was pure magic. Carson even broke his own rules for Newhart, often letting segments run long. He'd signal to stretch it, something rare for a host so obsessed with timing. What Carson loved most? Newhart's humility. Despite fame, he had no ego, no entourage. He treated the crew with respect, and that earned Johnny's lasting admiration. Johnny couldn't stand prima donnas, but Bob Newhart was the opposite. Kind to everyone from pages to camera operators. Their professional respect grew into a genuine friendship, even golfing together, a rare sign Carson truly enjoyed his company. Newhart's subtle intellectual comedy and humility made him one of Carson's most admired guests. Burt Reynolds, the playful partner in crime. Burt Reynolds brought spontaneity and fun to The Tonight Show, treating the host-guest dynamic like a friendly competition. Known for surprise pranks, like hitting Carson with shaving cream, Reynolds delighted Johnny with his unpredictable energy. He could both dish and take jokes, earning Carson's deep respect and friendship. Burt's approach became a model for how to truly engage on late-night TV. Orson Welles, the intellectual genius who fascinated Carson. Orson Welles brought out Carson's rarely seen intellectual side. Unlike other guests, Welles inspired Johnny to prepare by studying literature, history, and politics. Their conversations explored art, magic, and philosophy, revealing a thoughtful, curious Carson. Welles's live magic tricks especially captivated Johnny, who was like a kid experiencing real wonder. After a stunning magic trick, Johnny turned to the camera and said, "Did you folks at home see that? That was real magic, not TV magic." What Carson admired most about Welles was his authenticity. Despite being a cinema legend, Welles spoke openly about failures and setbacks. No Hollywood spin, just honest candor. Johnny respected that deeply. Their conversations often stretched beyond light entertainment into art, politics, and history, topics Carson rarely explored on air. "Those moments let me be myself, not just Johnny Carson," he once said. Welles even performed live magic, captivating Johnny like a child witnessing wonder for the first time. Jack Benny, the master who shaped Carson's comedy. When Jack Benny appeared, the usually confident Carson became a devoted student. "He was the reason I do what I do," Johnny admitted. Benny's impeccable timing, subtle reactions, and comedic philosophy, where silence and pauses earned bigger laughs than words, influenced Carson's style profoundly. Carson's admiration was visible. He laughed more, listened more, and even repositioned cameras to highlight Benny's reactions instead of his own. Watching their exchanges was like witnessing comedy history live. Benny, the pioneer of radio comedy, passing the torch to the king of late night. Carson even kept a framed photo of Benny in his office, the only celebrity picture he displayed, showing the depth of his respect. Carol Burnett, the guest who brought sunshine. When Carol Burnett appeared, something rare happened. Johnny visibly relaxed. His shoulders loosened, his smile grew wider, and the usual host-guest barrier melted away. "Carol brings sunshine to the stage," he told Ed McMahon. Their chemistry was natural and easy, like old friends catching up rather than a formal interview. Unlike most guests, Carol was allowed to go off script, play games, or even interview Johnny. Carson trusted her completely, knowing she understood timing and would never embarrass the show. What he valued most was her genuine warmth and humility. Despite her fame, Carol arrived with minimal entourage, remembered crew names, and asked about their families. Johnny noticed and appreciated those small but meaningful gestures. The affection between them was clear, and Carson often broke his own rules to give Carol more time on the show. Johnny was usually strict about segment times, but often extended Carol Burnett's appearances, sometimes even bumping other guests to keep her on air longer. When producers signaled to wrap up, Johnny would wave them off if Carol was telling a great story, a rare privilege. Staff said Carson frequently referenced her past appearances as the gold standard for talk show behavior. James Garner. What a movie star should be. Garner's interviews felt like two regular guys chatting, not Hollywood promotion. Johnny admired his authenticity. What you saw was what you got, on and off camera. Garner shared grounded human stories from Hollywood without name-dropping or pretense. He treated crew with respect and arrived with minimal entourage, winning Carson's deep appreciation. Their easy rapport sometimes crossed professional lines, showing genuine friendship. George Burns, the legend who kept getting better. In his later years, Burns received royal treatment from Johnny. Carson respected Burns's longevity and his link to vaudeville, which shaped Carson's comedy. Burns got funnier with age, always bringing fresh material. Johnny often let Burns lead conversations, sometimes staying silent for minutes to let the legend perform. Off camera, Johnny eagerly soaked up Burns' comedy history lessons, treasuring those moments as a private master class. Lucille Ball, television royalty. Lucille Ball, a pioneer who revolutionized sitcoms, shared a unique bond with Johnny Carson as fellow TV innovators. Carson deeply respected her sharp comedic talent, resilience, and trailblazing role as the first female head of a major TV studio. He treated her with genuine warmth and deference, often extending her airtime and giving her prime camera focus. Their mutual admiration went beyond performance. Carson admired her business acumen and work ethic, viewing her as the smartest and most authentic person in television. Ball's influence was a model Carson frequently referenced when preparing for other guests. If you love Hollywood gossip, celebrity news, and all things star-studded, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below.